Hey everyone, Genome here with the next episode of Was It Good? So today I'm going to be taking a look back at something that most people never think twice about. Lord knows I don't. This is actually an item that I would say went through its heyday in the early to mid 80s, maybe all the way up to the 90s. And it's just not something that most people think about too often. And when I think about it, I do think of the 80s. I just can't help it. There's so much nostalgia behind it, it's ridiculous. And I give a shout out to my coworker who actually gave me the idea for this video, not on purpose, but I happened to see what she had brought back from the store one day, and it was it was his brand. And as soon as I saw it, I just knew I had to do a video at some point. So it's been a little while in the making, because things have been so busy for me lately. But here it is in all its splendor. So what, pray tell, are you asking that I'm talking about here? Well, it is none other than toothpaste. And when I say toothpaste, I'm talking the 80s toothpaste. Close up. Let's see if we can get a good focus there. Look at that. It's got the Ultra Cinnamon Flavor Blast. I was trying to get the regular version of it. Couldn't find it. I guess this is about as close as to regular as it gets nowadays. But boy, do I remember the commercials off of these. And kind of the marketing went behind it. I'll get a little more into that later. But yeah, I mean, what a quintessentially 80s piece of nostalgia here. I can still hear the jingles to this day, and I'd kind of forgotten about it, but I had to do some research for this video. And I'll include some clips. I'll give you one right now. How about that? I mean, what a jingle. Close Up had a great claim to fame, and it was known as the very first gel toothpaste. And they gelled this way back. This product came out in 1967, believe it or not. And, nowadays we're inured to it. We're used to everything being gel form. Deodorants. You even have like gel planting material. You can actually plant your plants in gel. I remember that was a big thing at Epcot for a long time, selling that stuff. But there's gel everywhere, and even your writing utensils are gel nowadays. So it's kind of passe anymore. Gel is just the norm now. It's no longer the exception. But back in the 60s, 70s, and 80s, gel was not a normal thing. And this was the first and basically only for a long, long, long time. So while they were in a very competitive market, being so many big toothpaste brands out there, just think of Colgate's, Crest's, just to name a few. Pepsodent's back then was big, but so they had their own niche right there, and they had a further niche on their flavoring. As I recall, their biggest and only really big seller as far as flavors was the cinnamon flavor. This one actually happens to be Ultra Cinnamon. Something else right there. But so not only were they gel, they had a kind of an odd flavoring as well that was different. And it's a flavoring a lot of people like. I myself am no fan of cinnamon flavored things. Like, I think one of my most hated things in this world is little cinnamon candies, the hard candies that are with that clear red wrapper around them. Yeah, that stuff is vile. Never liked it. But, I could eat cinnamon toast as a kid, but I digress. So, let's go ahead and get a look. I have another tube of it right here, of what it actually looks like for those who somehow are not in the know. And there you go. Looks kind of like the gummy worm right there, doesn't it? But kind of cool, if you hold it up to good enough light, you can see right through it. That reminds me. And YouTube pro that I am, I shot half that video without my other light on. But now maybe you can see it a little better. But that little gummy worm looking thing right there is the very first gel toothpaste released commercially. Pretty cool, huh? If you hold it up close up to some light, you can see right through it. It's pretty nifty. I mean, you know, it's a cheap thrill looking at your toothbrush to see the bristles right through your toothpaste, but, you know, we were easily amused back then, so it's just such an interesting product, you know, and, you know, one of the most tactile ways of getting back into a certain memory or place is through taste, touch, smell, you know, that sort of thing. And boy, I brushed my teeth with this a few minutes ago, and it did bring me back. Let's go ahead and give you some quick, less than stellar footage right here. Ultra cinnamon. So it's interesting. It's got cinnamon flavor to it, but it's not. It doesn't remind me of like cinnamon candy or anything like that. So I don't know. It kind of reminds me of. I think it used to be called Act. It was like Act mouthwash. It was the red stuff, and I think it tasted quite a bit like that. So I mean, it's not vile. I've used worth toothpaste in my time, but. Not exactly what I would go for on a regular basis. I prefer more of the mint. I'm not much of a fan of cinnamon. So, well, there you have it. Science has been appeased. And there you have it. Well, it was an experience. In all honesty, I don't think I would buy it anymore or use it. Now, it's not saying that the product is bad. I just don't like cinnamon flavored things. I will say my mouth does feel pretty good. It is kind of refreshing afterwards. So, you know, obviously it's doing something in there. Whether it's whitening at the same time as cinnamoning, who knows? But there you go. And I think you can get this stuff at the dollar store. I think that's where I got this. So that's kind of cool. So a value brand, somewhat. But it's a brand that's packed with nostalgia. And a couple more fun facts about this stuff is, believe it or not, this is the #2 toothpaste in India. And is that a big deal, you ask yourself? Well, there's like over 1 billion people in India. That's a lot of toothpaste. So when you're the #2 toothpaste brand over there, you're doing something right. And apparently they market towards the youth segment over there. And speaking of marketing, marketing is where Close Up, I think, knocked it out of the park, proverbially. All of their advertisement seemed geared towards adults, which was kind of interesting. I remember a lot of the, and even to this day, a lot of the commercials for toothpaste is usually, you know, family friendly. You know, there's little Timmy or Susie brushing their teeth happily along, you know, while mom, he looks on approvingly, and dad smokes his pipe and he says, "Okay, son or daughter, good job on brushing those teeth. They're looking their pearly whitest." You know, kind of cornball stuff, or I don't know. But it was just really aimed at the family demographic. So, you know, singles didn't have a toothpaste. So guess what? Close Up came along, and through maybe the most brilliant marketing of the 80s, they came up with not only a really catchy jingle, and I'll play it again here for you. Now listen to the words, not just the tune itself. It's also kind of interesting. But before I get into a little more dissertation of the words, Here's how popular the jingle was. This is, I believe, 1990. They released a reggae version of it, or reggae light, if you will. Anyway, here it is. Want love? Get closer. Want love? Get closer. When you're close up, that's when close up counts. White teeth and a fresh mouth. It's the nicest thing that you can do. Do it for me and I'll do it for you. Want love? Get close up in paste, tartar control, and gel. Get closer. So, what were they going at here with their advertising? For one thing, people are just constantly kissing in these commercials, which is great. I mean, you got people. I know it kind of leads to people to believe like, hey, if I'm brushing this, someone is not going to be shy to come up and just kiss me, or if you're on your first date with somebody and you think you're going to get a kiss out of them, hey, I used close-up earlier, so this won't be embarrassing because of my alligator breath, right? But it was even a little more sinister than that, their advertising campaign here. So the main gist of it was want love, get close up, right? So this could be aimed at several different things. The two biggest being, hey, if you're in a relationship, you want to keep the relationship, and you don't want to lose it on account of your horrible breath, well, use close up. And the second is, if you're a single person out there looking for love, get close up, and you too may find it. Usually in some sort of water activity or at some sort of boardwalk, perhaps. It was just 30 seconds of nonstop kissing, but what a great ad campaign. It works on a few different levels. I know that saying is tiresome and kind of old, but it does, because it can mean a couple different things, and it can mean something different to everyone who's watching it. It's very open to interpretation how they did it. But the commercials were upbeat. They're well produced. It wasn't just stuck in someone's bathroom, showing them brushing their teeth, like me a couple minutes ago. I mean, yeah, it sells toothpaste, but it's not interesting. You don't remember it. But you remember these commercials, so I don't know. I don't know why I like it so much, but I think this is, if I was worked in advertising and I came up with this slogan in this direction and going with their advertisement, I think I would retire a happy man, because I think it's one of the perfect ones that were ever done. And it kind of inspired an entire video here. So who'd have thought toothpaste could do all that? Now let me go into an honorable mention here as far as cooler toothpaste go. The other option for those who were wanting to be hip back then was Aquafresh. Now, Aquafresh didn't have really gel, but they had tricolor, which is, pretty astonishing considering the technology we had at the time, right? But let's just take a look at this side by side with the amazing gel toothpaste, shall we? Well, I couldn't get it real well. But there it is. I seem to remember it being more separated, with wider slices before of red and blue, but I mean, as you can see, this just pales in comparison to the close-up here to its south directly. But hey, it was somewhat cool, and in all honesty, I think it tastes a lot better, but that's just my taste, But, I don't remember any Aquafresh commercials back then, and I don't remember, verbatim any Colgate or Crest or Pepsodent or any other big ones back then. So Close-Up obviously did something right. But I bet none of y'all out there thought I could talk for over 10 minutes about a tube of toothpaste, right? Well, there it is. The 80s wrapped up in tube and gel form. Close-Up. It's just a great trip down memory lane, and if you haven't had it in a long time, go to the dollar store, Dollar Tree, Dollar General, wherever. Get you a tube and try it out and see if you like it still. And dial up and watch some of those commercials, because that, my friends, is how you get an advertising campaign going. You find your target demographic, you aggressively go for it, and you don't compromise. So, getting down to it, was Close-Up good? Close-Up, let's break this up in two things. Close-Up as a toothpaste was okay, at least to me. I'm sure for those that love cinnamon, it was a great toothpaste. It was gel, so it has that going for it. So, okay to good. I can't go any further just because it's very cinnamon flavor, and I just can't get behind that. That's not really the brand's fault. I mean, what idiot would go out and buy a flavor of toothpaste that he knows he doesn't like? I do it for science, but you know, hey, that's me. I'm a masochist. But as a brand, was Close Up good? Close Up was great as a brand, and it reeks of 80s. There's 80s dripping off the walls of these commercials. And I would say it's a prototypical slice of nostalgia. And if I was to, say, be a movie producer and wanted stuff in the background, say, a bathroom shot, I would have a tube. It was set in the 80s. I would have a tube of close-up sitting on the bathroom counter somewhere for an 80s set piece. So the brand itself was great. My take on its taste and flavor, like I said, is less than stellar. But once again, I bet that my coworker loves it. She loves the taste of cinnamon that it has, and she's a very brand loyal person when it comes to this toothpaste. So obviously, it does something right for cinnamon lovers out there. And you know, that could be another one of their slogans out there for cinnamon lovers. But you know, lover being the other motif of their their advertising campaign. My goodness. But anyway, there you have it. Product was good as a product, and as a product of the 80s, it was great. So anyway, thanks for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Make sure to leave something down there in the comments. If you've ever used this toothpaste before, let me know. Let me know what you think. Or better yet, if you have used it in the past and haven't in a long time, why don't you go out and get a tube, try it, and post something down below. Maybe I'll do a retroactive. You know, take a look back here at some point in the comments and do another video, and if you know I get enough activity out of it, or shoot your own video of you doing it, whatever, if you feel so inclined. So anyway, thanks again for watching, and I'll have another episode of Was It Good out for too long. I actually have a few good ideas coming down the pipe, but you know, it's just gonna be, it's difficult to find the time to shoot and edit these videos sometimes, so it's much easier on the Hearthstone portion of things because that stuff goes fast. It's easier to edit and everything else, but these take time to splice together and get everything just so. So also apologize for my very, very, very poor lighting at the intro of this wonderful little toothpaste video. So once again, this is Genome with Cinnamon Fresh Breath out.